I am 40 years old. I live in a huge city. I work in a medium-sized company. The level of my income is small. To cover current expenses, the second remote work allows you to pay for an apartment. No real estate and no car. I've been divorced for 8 years. I've only been married for a year. No children. Outwardly, I look younger than my years. I usually like to work on my image. I have good looks. After marriage, I was the mistress of a married man for several years. His condition was to give him a child. His marriage was childless. I tried to get pregnant, but as it turned out he was infertile, which he still denies. We parted long and hard. I was saved by the fact that he went to the other end of the country and for a long time, and I, climbing out of depression, distracted by the internet correspondence with a famous artist. 6 months later, I met another guy on the site, Dan. I was actively going on dates, but everything was not the same. With him, correspondence began at night, until the morning corresponded met the next day. Outwardly, I did not like him. He seemed musico votogo. Rough. He was wearing some cheap sweater, and in general, he seemed to me older than his years. I said he didn't look like the pictures. But I stayed, and after an hour of our communication, I was already mollycoddling and looking at him with rapturous eyes. He was convincing. I am a sociologist by profession. I am considered a good specialist. In principle, I was quite independent at that time. But I constantly had a hole in the resource of love. For a long time, I was single again. I didn't like him externally, but I was hooked by his sense of humor. A loose, slightly swaggering demeanor, bold, sometimes boorish. I remember laughing a lot with him. When I left, he said in front of the cab that I would not forget him, want to communicate. I took a long look in his eyes, snorted, and got in the cab. I thought, what's he doing? And I wasn't going to text him. Before I got home, I got a text from him. He started texting me in the morning too. He lives alone, long divorced, had a short marriage, no children. He has a higher education, but works at an unskilled job. After a week, our correspondence stopped. Then I wrote him again. At lunchtime the next day, he wrote to me and offered to meet me. We spent a great day together, walked, kissed. It was absolutely romantic walk. He immediately asked me when I would move in with him. I laughed and said I wasn't going anywhere without a wedding. In the evening, he sent me in a business class cab. Then, wondering how I got there, he kept writing, but I always felt some kind of danger from him, like I was doing something wrong. But I was interested. One day he called and invited me to his place. I arrived, he was watching TV, gave me tea, and asked me if I would stay. I said I would and that I would sleep separately. He gave me a bed in a separate room with no questions asked. I lay down, but my thoughts were full of indignation. I wrote him that I wanted to sleep with him. He wrote, "Come here." I came, I lay down next to him. And 5 minutes later, we had hot and fast sex. He was my third man in the last 10 years, after my husband and my lover. In the morning, he had sex with me again, got up, had breakfast, left my towel and key on the table, and left for work. I sat in his kitchen, in his shirt, and didn't realize what was all this even about. I felt excited and anxious, like something important had happened that night. We started having an affair. Correspondence, calls, meetings. He had relatives visiting, and for a while he came to visit me and stayed overnight. We went out a couple times to meet my friends. He behaved beautifully, spontaneously, gallantly. He came suddenly, gave me and my friends flowers, charmed everyone. On a separate note, I want to talk about sex. He had sex with minimal foreplay. Only a couple of times I saw him sensual and tender when we slept over for the first time. All the rest of the time it was a mechanical process on his part. I didn't see any passion. After a month, I realized that he was coming over less and less often. I saw that he was on a dating site again. He began to criticize me and my appearance. Several times he showed direct aggression. He could pull me aside, yell at me. I was jealous of him until my cheekbones drooped. He saw it. He started telling me I was old, I was fat. At first he would look at my reaction and it sounded like a joke. Then the jokes stopped being funny. I started snapping at him. There was a wild episode with my teeth. I had bridges that I was self-conscious about. He noticed it the first time we met, asked what was wrong with my teeth. I told him I was planning surgery and that it was painful, expensive, and I was scared. Once when we were kissing, he said that kissing had a bad taste, and that he had broken up with girls before because of the bad breath. I was hysterical. He said he needed to get his teeth done. Then he repeated several times, "Get your teeth done now. That's the most important thing." Wrecked my nerves with them. When we resumed our relationship, he didn't say a word about it, even though he saw that I was missing half my mouth. We never revisited the subject again, and I was in the process of getting implants. At that point, I was already hooked on it. I was nervous all the time, waiting for him all the time, and he was at work all the time. And at the end, we had a scandal. When I came to his house and he was not there, he had to bring me one thing and wrote that he left it in the room for me to pick up and go. I got there, went through his whole house, realized he had left the day before, shaved and dressed up. I texted him all this, asked him if he had another woman. He wrote that I had to leave his apartment and that he didn't need all this. He didn't want to communicate with me. I started calling. He kept dropping me. He wrote that he demanded that I leave the apartment within 15 minutes, otherwise he would come and throw me out himself. I cried, begged him to forgive me, but he wouldn't even look at me. Then he went to bed and slept for 3 hours. I went to get some food and lay down next to him. He woke up and asked me to leave. He didn't like me. We had a dialogue where he said he was not for family, not for life, that he didn't love me, that I was a good girl, and he didn't want to lie to me. At that time I smoked a pack a day, hardly slept, ate nothing. This agony lasted for a month. I didn't want to break up with him. I wrote. He replied lukewarmly. I still tried to call him, to write to him. He said he was uncomfortable talking to me. I don't know why, but I was glued to him. Even though there was no warmth from him. Why did I torture myself with thoughts of him? I tried to forget him. I tried to lead a normal life. There were even some guys around who started to like me. I flirted a couple times, but in the background I was always thinking about Dan. About once a month I wrote to him, not really hoping for a reply. I saw him again on a dating site where he blocked me after seeing my likes. Some more time passed. I was already in a good state, but I decided to write to him that I would like to see him. I did not wait for a reply, but after 4 days, at work I got a reply that he would like to see me. I wrote that I would come next weekend. He wrote that he would see me, but I didn't come next weekend. I didn't dare. I was afraid. I was afraid to see his cold face again. I didn't know what to expect from him. He kicked me out, and I'm asking him to come. I ended up texting him almost a month later. Call me when you're free. He texted, come on over. And I went. My heart was pounding like crazy. I was so scared. I didn't know what was waiting for me. I came. He has a dog, a 5-month-old puppy. He loves her very much. She's his most precious creature. He takes great care of her, walks her 4 hours a day, feeds her a super complicated diet, and does training. The dog is really great. I came to them, he told me how he bought her, how they live. That same night, we had sex. But it was so awkward, so insincere. The night we went to bed, he brought me a second blanket. We slept under different blankets. In the morning, I said I should probably go. But he said I could stay. And I did. We had a relaxing weekend, watching shows, walking the dog, eating. We had sex again, but we slept under different blankets again. We went for walks on the playground with other dog owners. I did the cleaning, the cooking. A couple of times I made some remarks in passing that the microwave was broken or that we were out of bottled water. The next day he fixed it and ordered it, even though I didn't ask for it. But there was no more sex between us. We slept under different blankets. I was always afraid that every day was my last. I felt no tenderness, no need for me. He could change his mood at any time. After a while I realized I was late. I took a test. I informed him he was happy. I could feel that he was happy. But a week later the pregnancy went off, which I immediately informed him about. And the texting ended immediately. We didn't talk for 5 more days. Then we started writing. The topic of the child often came up between us always. On the first dates, he immediately asked if I agreed to give birth to his children. Soon he stopped waiting for me from work, went for walks with the dog himself. We almost did not talk, but I came over, did household chores, but I saw that he did not need it. There were periods when we hugged. I gave him a massage. He responded to my attempts to kiss. But he didn't initiate intimacy himself. On the weekend we woke up, had breakfast. I had said before that I wanted to buy new bedding. He remembered this and said, "Get ready. Let's go to the store." We bought all sorts of household stuff, the bedding I wanted. It was all very nice. He kept telling me not to ask him anything. The next day we had a conflict over food. I cooked something he didn't like. He said he told me he didn't eat. I cried, grabbed my phone, and went to my room. It doesn't work on him. He gets pissed off about things like that. Half an hour later, he came to bed. He turned away, and I started to tell him that I had cried because I couldn't be a good wife to him. He said he didn't think I was a wife, and he didn't love me. He said he liked being alone and that he didn't need anyone. I was up all night. I cried. I got up. I went to the kitchen. I lay down again. I felt unwanted, but I was imposing on him. He felt a little guilty after the night talk. In the evening, I went over to his place again, although I had already decided that after that day I would distance myself. He had already gone for a walk with the dog. When he came back, there was no attention from him. I was nothing to him. He asked me to give him a massage. I stroked him, told him I wanted him in my life. In the morning he had breakfast. I didn't get up to see him off. I asked him to kiss me, but he refused. I realized that he didn't love me, that men don't love like that. I told him back in the first relationship that if a man doesn't love, he won't love anymore. The day before, I told him that I wanted to give him a child, to which he told me to forget about it. After all, I'm already many years old. But sometimes we met, walked with the dog. The two of us went to the playground, where other dog owners go and where he knows. But the tactility between us never happened. I asked him to listen to me. I told him that I was old and that he was my last love. Maybe he was a healthy, handsome man, and I wanted to have a baby with him so that I could have something left of this relationship. He said, why does he need to know all this? And that it was my problem. Then I texted him, "I love you and the dog. Stay in my life at least once in a while." He didn't respond. I asked him to talk to me, but he didn't want to talk. He chased me away and I pestered him. I wanted to see him, to give him his keys, but he wouldn't see me or even take his keys. He said he'd rather change the locks. He didn't even want to see me sometimes. I felt bad about his refusals. The first days I was in my hell, I was dying, either lying down or get out and go wherever you want. Nursed for 5 hours, crying all the time. Got sick, lost a lot of weight. It's hard to look at myself in the mirror. It's like I'm looking at myself through his eyes and that I'm ashamed of myself. Even my objective strengths seem insignificant to me. I love this man. I would like to have a child with him. But it didn't work out. And I don't even know where I should go now. What do I wait for? I have no luck.